Hi, my name is Daniel. Today I would like to show you how to use RS brand GPS navigation for Audi B8 platform. So that was boarding screen. For initial booting, it takes about 30 to 40 seconds to boot up. So here's the main interface. The clock here, it's GPS synced, so once it gets proper signal, it will automatically update to the your local time. So in order to go to Audi interface, you click here, and as you can see, this is the Audi original interface. In order to hear something from the device, you always need to remain in aux, otherwise you won't be able to hear anything from the device. So that's the way how it is. And in order to go back to Android, you just click on the screen and it will get into Android launcher. The device has two aux here. Aux 1, this one is in and out. That means you can connect up with the any kind of video devices that has an output on it, like a DVD player, and then it has its own output which relays the signal, so you can send out the signals to other monitors, like the headrest mounting monitors for your kids in the backside or something like that. So this aux does do that function, and aux 2 input is for your 360 surround view or your front cam. So it has two aux, and the main Bluetooth app is this one, and there is our own proprietary settings here, and this is volume adjust app. So in order to connect to Wi-Fi and setting up the proper date and the Bluetooth, you go to rear sun setting, and you can change brightness here, system volume here, but I wouldn't recommend to use these two. Instead, you can use, for the brightness, you can use the notification bar dragging, and then you can use this one. This one works better than what is in rear sun setting. And the system volume here is deactivated. It's replaced by the volume adjust app here, so you should use it. We'll show how to use it later. Otherwise, everything else is working. Bluetooth setting here, you can connect to the Bluetooth. Sometimes when the Bluetooth is not working, you need to reset the Bluetooth, but in order to reset the Bluetooth, you need to connect it to any kind of data network over your cellular data network, or ideally Wi-Fi, because the Bluetooth is getting some kind of authorization from the manufacturer. So whenever we are resetting Bluetooth, the device must be connected to internet. So whenever it's required, you can reset the Bluetooth. And for pairing, you click in the search, and then few months later, if your cell phones or Bluetooth devices pairing mode is activated, it will pop up. So you click here, and then on your cell phone you will get a pairing request. You confirm in your cell phone, and then it will be connected like this. And then Wi-Fi setting is pretty much stock Android one, and data setting is also pretty much Android default. By default, our device has a default time zone of Central US time. So if you're not in that region, you need to deactivate automatic time zone and select your time zone, and then activate the time zone again. Then it will fix into your time zone. And for the automatic and time function, I would recommend to stay in the use GPS provided time, unless you use built-in 3G 4G modem with your SIM card in it. Otherwise, because if you choose to use network provide time, then it could likely crash the Google app. That's a small bug that we are experiencing now, and we are trying to fix. What else? Network settings is for the cellular data network settings. So I didn't put any SIM card in the device right now, so it's grayed out now. But you can set up APNs and the prepared network times here. It's going to be activated once SIM card is inserted. Video in motion log is nothing but just if you uncheck this thing, it will prevent showing any kind of videos, something like that, while in driving. So it's up to you. If you think it's not safe to watch any kind of video while driving, you just uncheck this. Otherwise, you have it checked. And reverse trajectory is it's called parking guideline. It's this. When you reverse, as you can see, the parking direction guideline is working. If you don't want to see this, you can hide it, and then it's not there, right? It works like this. And turn up the displays is just to turn up the display, like night driving. You don't want any big screen to shine out. You just can turn up the display. You say yes, and then you touch again, it will come back alive. System upgrade is just to check the system version, serial numbers, and etc. It really does nothing for the OTA update or something like that. And the restart system is just to restart the system. You click yes, and then the device will reboot. And restore is it's restore the factory default settings, so all the user data will be erased. Navigation app choices, it's either to use iGo 9 map or Google Maps, so I recommend the Google Map as your default app choice, but apparently I think this was intended for all the launcher, so it has nothing to do with the current launcher. Reverse view setting is just to say whether you have Audi's original reversing backup camera, or you have aftermarket backup camera. So in this vehicle I have aftermarket camera, so I choose equipped with a camera. And then parking later settings, so if you have Audi's on parking later, it can be displayed. So if you have parking later, you see the car image here, the later will be displayed here. But in this vehicle I don't have any parking later, so I will just hide it. And then startup interface setting is main interface is showing you Android after it booted up. You can choose original car interface if you would like to see the original screen after the device has booted up. So this is how you set it. And music on background, that is like when there is any kind of navigation guidance voices. If you don't want to listen to music, you want it to automatically stop the music while you are getting guidance from the navigation voices, you choose yes, otherwise you choose no. Nav button settings. So for the Audi 8.5, there's an nav button on the steering wheel. For it is to choose what function will be called on once the nav button on the steering wheel was clicked. But I'm not sure if it's working in this current state, because we had a little bit of a bug with the buttons, so we deactivated it. But at least the volume thing is working. See, the volume control is working. Overlay display time is like for this one, I mean the climate control. So it will disappear in 5 seconds after you click it. You can choose either 15 seconds if you need more time, or you can just completely hide it by choosing not show. Volume control key is to whether control the Android's volume itself. So if you disable it, and you're not gonna see the Android volumes, overlay setting screen. But I would recommend making an enable, because usually the devices has booted up, the volume from the Android itself is limited to 80%. So in order to have the full experience, it's better to have this volume control key option available. Park radar key is actually, I have no idea. I think it has something to do with the parking radar equipped with brought vehicle, and the car style here does nothing with this launcher. It should has to be fixed later. I mean, I know there's a lot of things that are broken here, and there's a lot of broken Englishes, but we are trying to fix it as soon as possible. So once Bluetooth is up and running, this is the Bluetooth application. You can access to your phone book if you gave the authorization in your phone to share the contact data, or you can see your call history or redirect to recent one. And the dial pad, this is new one. In previous testing versions we had different dial pad, but we found that's rather difficult to use, so we implemented this regular style dialing pad. And what else? Yes, Bluetooth music. Bluetooth music is controlled here, so let's play music. I mean, for some phone, if we just click the play here, it will get it. Yeah, like mine. So it's playing Bluetooth music. You can stop it, and you can play it again, and you can go to the next. Eventually, I want to make this function available over the left side steering wheel buttons, but we're working on it. And that's for the Bluetooth. And the volume adjust, yes, this application is to control volume for separate applications. Stream music on the top is for the general volume, so I would recommend to leave it like 15. And stream voice call is when you're using the SIM card and built-in modem, you can adjust your voice call volume here. Stream Bluetooth SEO does nothing. Stream Link is the linger volume for the built-in cell phone modem, and Stream System is system notification sound. And Stream Bluetooth music is what is reserved exclusively for the Bluetooth music streaming volume. I would always recommend leaving 60 because the Bluetooth volume is already too low in my opinion. And other things, Stream Bluetooth phone, this is the volume of your voice call over Bluetooth, so I would recommend something between 3 and 5, otherwise it's too loud. And one important thing is you always have to kill this volume adjust step completely, like pressing here and swiping to the right. Otherwise, if the application is alive in the background, it tend to mess up with the system volume and put the system volume at 0. We are trying to fix it, but apparently it takes some time. Otherwise, it's fine. And let's go to the Android menu. Well, everything is pretty much as it is. Oh well, this is another bug. It shouldn't have to be like that. This is your app picker. You can see all the apps that you download from the Play Store. Play Store works fine. You can download whatever from the Play Store. By the way, the Wi-Fi of this device is not really intended to connect the home Wi-Fi you might have in your garage or near your home. So the maximum the Wi-Fi range is only 20 feet. The Wi-Fi is there to connect the hotspot, but not the external the router's in density. So don't complain me about the short Wi-Fi range. I mean, it's as I said, intended for the in-car use, but not exterior car network connection or something like that. So Play Store works there like this, and the Android setting is all over here. I just want to tell you, do not touch Bluetooth section. This device's Bluetooth is using some kind of special logic, so the Bluetooth, regular Bluetooth function is quite limited, and we are working on it to make it more safer and more standardized way. So until then, until you are noticed, don't insert the Torque app and don't touch this Bluetooth menu here. And sometimes the problem that we are trying to fix now is the Google app, which has something to do with voice navigation, voice recognition, is tend to crash a lot. So one of the solution is to give permissions to the app. So in the setting, go to apps and go to Google, and at the permissions, give all the permissions that it requires. It should have gotten its own permission by itself, but in some firmwares I found it's not working. So we're trying to fix it, but apparently I think we need some external help to fix it. And for other things, for location, leave the mode on the device only, otherwise there will be some problem with, also again with the Google app. Well, it's recommended to use high accuracy when you're using the built-in modem with your SIM card. It will perfectly with that one, but once you're not using the SIM card and built-in modem, you should leave the device only mode, otherwise it will cause some GPS error. So that's another thing we are trying to fix. Let's try some Google voice recognition. How's the weather?
It's 24 degrees and sunny in Boise.
Apparently my English is quite bad. How's the weather?
It's 24 degrees and sunny in Boise.
Oh, bugger. Navigate to home.
Okay, home. Here we go.
So as you can see, the whole Google voice navigation thing is working, and you can switch to Google to hear what's going on your feed. So it's pretty much it. So